Hey fam, have it felt like your relationship has turned into a scoreboard? If you felt that way, you're not alone.
Okay.
Today, we're diving into why it happens and what you can do to fix it. Stay tuned.
Hey, Mr. Friends, welcome back to the Blissology Podcast.
Where we break down everything related to love, to marriage and relationship with the goal of creating more bliss.
Yes.
And less stress.
That's right. I am your girl, your host, the one and only Cece. Okay. Pew, 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 pew. As always, I am joined with my awesome co-host, hubby. What's going on, babe?
We're good. No complaints. And we thank you guys for joining us today. If this is your first time tuning into our podcast, this is a weekly podcast where we bring you inspiring, relatable, and relevant content every Saturday. And we talk about love.
Yes.
We talk about life.
Yes.
We talk about relationship.
That's right.
And maybe some other stuff that could be happening.
Yes, that's
Yes.
right. Listen, there's a lot happening. Okay, but
There's
we are
always
so
that.
happy to have you guys with us on this beautiful Saturday here in
Absolutely.
South Florida. No rain, no cold.
Yes, it's warmed up. And as always, guys, before we get into the topic of the day, we always like to share our blissful moment. Now, that's either something that we did or something that happened to us during the week. So, what is your blissful moment?
My daddy's birthday.
Okay.
It sounds like a kid in kindergarten. My daddy's birthday.
Your daddy's birthday.
Yes, my blissful moment was, my dad's birthday. We had a good time last Thursday.
This is the last birthday for the month of January. Yeah.
That's right. We had a good time and we were like, okay, no more Thursdays. Okay. We had you, your brother, and then my dad.
They're all on Thursdays.
They were all on Thursdays.
They always fall on the same day.
They always fall on the same day. Even if there's a leap here, y'all gonna fall right along each other.
Yeah,
so we had a good time on my dad's
January
birthday.
people are special people.
I don't know about that.
Yes. But you know what? Hey,
It's
listen.
more
Happy
like
birthday
December.
to us.
Okay.
The good people of January.
Yeah. Until next year, God's willing.
But hey, listen,
Yes.
it's a blessing to be able to see another day, to see another year, to be with family, to be
That's
with friends,
right.
and
We
to be
had a
able to
great
sit
time.
together and eat some bad food, but have some fun.
Listen, we had a great time. It was just, the usual. Last year we took him out. This time my mom said, no, thank you. We staying home.
She didn't quite like the place that we took.
She didn't,
took
because
him to, so.
typical mom, they'd rather be home, cook the meal, and luckily for her, she was off on that day. So we had a good time. It is a blessing. As our parents aging older, we always want to be around them and celebrate them and and love on them.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
Yes, the grandkids. They were all there enjoying Papa's birthday.
Yes.
We have our anniversary next month. I
And
don't
then-
know.
and then the
We
birthday,
have my
yes.
nephew's birthday next month.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So we won't get a break until the month of March. But anyway,
Yes.
it was fun and we enjoy ourselves. As you guys could tell, we're like really family oriented. So
We
anything
are.
we could do it with family, we do our best to go ahead and
That's
do
right.
so. And
That's
we're blessed
right.
that we all live very close to each other.
We are. Listen, we are. And it's great. It's great. Whether if it's your dad, your mom, whomever it is in the family, it's great to make them feel love on their birthday, to make them feel special, right?
Absolutely.
Especially if they're being around for you. They're always there for you. So on their birthday, it's such a great thing for them, for us to make them feel love and feel like, we see you, we appreciate you, we love you.
I agree.
Not just, on your birthday, but throughout the whole year. So do you have anything, babe? This moment?
No, that's listen, I enjoyed the same thing as you did.
Yes.
That's it.
Although he showed up late, but we get it.
I had to work.
Had to make the money.
There we go.
get it.
Hey, listen, guys. So that's what's up, Blissful Moment. So let's get into the topic of the day. Now, today, we're going to be diving into something that I know is going to resonate with a lot of people.
Yes.
And that is when the love you cherish, it starts to feel like a competition.
Listen, oh yes, baby. You nailed it with the hook earlier. I'm like, I know I've done this in the past.
Oh, yes, you
I
have.
did. Yes.
I know that. And not just in the past.
Yes.
I can think of as recent as just a few days ago.
Yes. I know we did. I know we did.
Listen,
I know
listen,
we did. Because when I heard the hook earlier, I'm like, oh, I see where he's going with this. I see where he's going because I know I've done that to him.
And listen, and it's wild because keeping score sneaks up on you. Sometimes it's not intentional that you want to do it. You just kind of did it because it's something that you do, but you feel like you have to advertise it. Most of the time, you don't even realize that you're doing it. But over time, it starts to feel like you're on the opposite team of each other.
Yeah.
It's like you're working against each other. You want to see how much more you've done, and you got to broadcast this just so you can value yourself.
It's a competition. Listen, it's a competition. And for some people, listen, like myself sometimes, keeping a scorecard feel like, that's the only way to make sure that we are being fair. Right? Right? But I get it. I am so guilty of this, you guys. And I know my husband's going to go through this like...
Oh yeah,
I know you're gonna eat me. I know you're gonna eat me up today. I can feel it. He's gonna eat me up alive, you guys.
Listen, but you know what? Here's the thing. Love isn't about keeping score. That 50-50 that a lot of us sometimes we think of,
That's
if I do
stuff.
This, that person's got to do this so we can even things out.
Right.
Hey, you got to keep in mind, some season one might be doing more things than the
Carry
others.
more weight.
There are times that I do more than Cece does, and times she does many times it feels like she does more than I do because she makes sure that what she does gets broadcast, right? But it's okay. It's okay for things to be sometimes out of balance over time.
Right.
Because in the long run, you would find all of us would have contributed something to the relationship itself.
Yes.
So keeping score can be rough.
Yes. Like you said earlier, and let's not forget how easy it is to sneak in when life gets so hectic. Okay. We're talking about work. We're talking about kids. And we're talking about trying to maintain a social life, okay? It's a lot.
Hey, listen,
it's a lot.
Let me give you a clear example. Like, for instance, take this podcast. Sissy does the research of getting all the data and so forth. I appreciate it, and I thank her for it every day. I do all the setup. I do the editing. I barely ever broadcast, hey, I've had to do this, but man, I hear all the time about getting the content.
All the time, baby. I don't know about. I'm just letting you know this was a lot of work. We just want to make sure that we let y'all know, hey, I've taken care of the kids, the house. We want you to hear it, okay? Because sometimes y'all be blindsided by the things that us women, we're doing.
I'm not blindsided. Listen, I've been fortunate enough to be able to come from a place where I appreciate works that are done and I do my best to make sure that the person knows that I do it. And I will jump in and just go in and do things. So when you're tired, when you're stressed out, sometimes it's easy to start counting. Let's face it. And we can't blame ourselves for doing so.
Yes. And like we were saying earlier, we were being honest. We've been there.
Yeah.
We've been there, done that. Okay, I understand keeping a scorecard. Even at work, it's important to keep a scorecard in your business, whether if you work for a corporate office or whatever it is.
You have to. At work, it's absolutely necessary because you have to be able to evaluate where you stand.
And it's also necessary to have in relationship as well. I mean, I don't know who would not want to keep a score? Come on. You want to keep a scorecard to let your partner know, hey, listen, babe, I've been doing a lot here. What you been up to? What you been doing? So let's start with the big questions. Babe, why do we even keep scorecard? Not even scorecard. Why do we even keep score? Why? I know I can tell you my reason.
Yeah. What are your reasons?
I want to say, honestly speaking, most of the time it doesn't come from a bad place, okay? It does not come from a bad place. It's not like, I wake up this morning, I'm like, I want to start keeping a score of the amount of stuff that I've done in the house. It's not like I'm like plotting, and trying to make you look bad. I truly feel like the reason why I keep sometimes score is because I want us to be, to make this relationship better. Okay. Right? And I think it's important. It's not about competition. We're not competing, but at the same time, I want you to hear it and I want you to know.
Sometimes it does feel like it. That, hey, I want to state what I do just so you can know that I've done all of these things. And maybe you need to pick up the pace. It can feel that way.
Well, maybe sometimes it could feel because we're tired.
Yes.
A lot of us, we are stressed out, we burn out, or we just feel unseen. And I truly feel like sometimes, keeping track becomes our way of trying to make things feel fair. Because when you think about it, babe, come on, let's be honest. Mothers do more than dads. Don't no offense with the amount of work that you've done. However, I truly feel like we've done a whole lot than you guys have.
I can't dispute that.
I get it.
But I strongly believe that it's not about who's done more or less. Let's face it. I think it's about feeling like the effort in the relationship is mutual.
Equal.
Right? Because I think when someone's doing, because it's very easy for us to see what we do. And when we see what we do, we can easily say, okay, yeah, this person has been doing what I've been doing. So they must be doing less. So I have to let them know. And when you're in that mindset, it can make you count every little thing that you do.
Yeah.
Every little thing. And honestly, this has come up in our marriage many times. It has.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. 100% agree with you.
I can think of a number of things that that this is where I may have said, and I've done this and this, or she may have said that she's done that and that.
I remember when we first had our daughters, like the first one, between juggling the kids, the house, and work, I felt like I was drowning some days. I felt like I was burnt out. Like I was like, listen, I'm doing this and this and this. And don't get me wrong, you were dropping off the kids and I was picking them up after work. And sometimes I'm like, babe, I'm running late. I'm going to do this and that. And instead of me was like, hey, babe, listen, I need help. I started mentally just
tallying everything that's been going on.
Correct.
And in broadcast, I've done this and this and this and this.
Correct.
You haven't. And I'm not disputing, and from my side, I was thinking I'm working. I used to have to be at my office at 7:30 in the morning.
Right.
And obviously dropping the kids off at that early was not something, but I had to be there. And I used to have to leave work at 6:30. So I would not get home until sometimes 7.
Yeah.
And here I was thinking, man, I'm doing everything I could to provide for the family. But just to even see that.
Right.
Because when I go to work, it's not that I just go and sit there and watch the the ceiling in the computer. It's actual work.
Yeah.
I was like, we're both so focused on what we were doing, we stopped seeing what the other person was actually doing, which was just as important for the family.
Right.
And this is why we have to be mindful as to when we get so focused on all the things that we're doing, that we can make it seem like the other person is not doing enough.
That is so true.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of couples fall into that trap.
Oh, absolutely.
They do.
When you're both working hard and you got to find ways to come together instead of being stuck in your own bubble where you only see your own effort. Because when you're in that mindset, it's like you're playing in the opposite team of each other.
Yeah.
Who's doing more and who's broadcasting what they're doing, because they felt like that's the only way they can win.
Right.
Because in this, there's no winning.
There's no winning. However,
at least individual win. Because when you win in a relationship, it's both of you win. It's not just you win and I lose.
Yeah.
But sometimes when you feel like you're doing so much, you got to make sure that you broadcast all the little goals you've scored.
I don't do that all the time. I don't broadcast every little thing that I've done, baby. I don't. But I will broadcast, hey, listen, I've done this and this and that. And sometimes I do more. I do more. You know that.
I'm not disputing that.
And that's the thing. This is why sometimes I truly feel like when you are, whether you're a stay-at-home mom or someone who run business at home and you take care of the children, it's 3 or 4 businesses that you are taking care of. It's a lot more.
Oh yeah.
Than versus, someone who prefer to do 9 to 5. They go to work. They don't have to worry about, whatever's at the house. When they come home, they take care of dinner and then everybody else go to sleep. Yeah. Right? It's different.
And I'll never dispute that. I know there's a lot of work that gets done. And this is where I never take it in any wrong way that when Cece says, hey, I've done this and done this. One thing I've tried my best to do is not go around and says, oh, you've done that. I've done this, I've done this, I've done this. Then it becomes, okay, you said you've done, no. I'm the type, and I've learned early on that it's not about stating what I do. It's about saying this needs to get done,
then
and
you
I do
it. Yeah, me too.
Right. Oh yeah, I'm not saying you don't. It's just that you make sure that it is known when you do it.
It's funny you mentioned that at my dad's party gathering on Thursday. I was like, I could. Just so you know, I cook too.
You see what I mean? You see what I mean? Yes. And I know and we do it sometimes, but we just make sure that our efforts are not being taken for granted. You want your effort to matter. And there's a lot of work that, like, for instance, if you take cooking for your dad's gathering, I called her at like midday. She was at it. She wasn't until later in the day. So it took like a half a day effort doing that. So yes.
Mind you, I was working with the kids.
Yes. So you got to make sure that.
And my business.
That your effort is seen. And this is where I know Cece mentioned it earlier. When she broadcasts the things that she's been doing, it's not coming from a place of arrogance, a place of badness. No.
Right.
It's just, it helps validate the work that she puts in things. But here's where the problem is. It's when you focus so much on what you're doing.
Yes.
You forget to see what the other people, the other person, your partner, you forget to see what they bring to the table.
Exactly.
That's where it becomes a problem.
Yes.
In our household, I know Cece acknowledge a lot of things that she does, but she never completely ignore what I do.
Oh, no.
And that's probably what's been helping us get over talking about what we do or what she does, because she talks about what she does more than I do.
Yes. And I do. Well, yeah. And sometimes I'll come in the kitchen. I'm like, babe, do you need help?
Yes.
And you be like, no, I'm good.
Listen, and I do that for a reason. There's certain things, if I can handle it without having to bring her in, I'd rather have her just go and relax, and I'll do it.
Yeah.
And that's how I acknowledge the fact that she may have done so much throughout the day. If I get home and I could do this, I don't need her to take part in it. And I'll tell you, she'll tell the majority of things that I'm doing, she comes and says, hey, can I help? My response would be, no, go relax.
Yeah. You'll be like, I got this.
And I got it. She may not quite like some of the ways that I do things.
like the dishwasher.
Like she thinks I should throw any amount of dishes in the dishwasher, even if it's like 3, 4, 5 pieces of dishes, just put them in the dishwasher. I don't believe, I believe if you're going to load the dishwasher, you load it with.
No, the reason why I do that is because if we have other dirty dishes later, we can just load up the dishwasher.
Yeah, but sometimes it's just a 5 that's there and I can easily knock them out and that's good. Like, and then this is me saying that sometimes she may want me to do things a certain way. And I'm like, just go in here. I got it. I got certain ways that I do things.
Yeah, we both have our own ways of doing things. I get it.
The same thing for cooking. She would walk in and she already telling me put this in here and here.
But it turned out better than
I've never said that. I've never said that it's wrong. But sometimes I want you to take that break and let me handle it
and trust you that you can do it.
Yes, and listen, it may not come out the way that you've done it because I'm not you.
Because
I am me and you are you.
I'm just saying, I don't want it to go to waste. I want to make sure that, I put my little expertise, my little extra seasonings, whatever in there. So that way we can all eat it. Because I know you don't really care much.
But, and obviously we do have fun with what we do in all aspect of it and not let our feelings get in the way. But you know what? Here's the tricky part when we're keeping score. When we start counting every little bit of things that we do, it starts to make our relationship feels transactional.
Yeah.
I do this, you must do that.
So now you owe me.
Yes.
One thing I can't stand when people do, for real. Because love doesn't work like that.
It shouldn't. Love is more about you do things freely. And you trust that your partner will do the same.
That's right.
Now I do caution there are some cases you run into partners who are just lazy or they're in that old mindset you mentioned where they think that women's supposed to be doing all the things, all the house chores, all the cleanings and all the thing that has to do with the kids in the house, and the men just go to work and come home and sit back and watch
relax.
TV. That's wrong.
That is so wrong.
And I know many times we look at, we may see other couples and we may think they have it all together because typically sometimes we see what they want you to see.
Right. Online.
You think they have it all together.
Right.
They have it all figured out. You think these people have it, they're gelling and everything seems so perfect. Meanwhile, you're here thinking, man, it is so difficult for me. I have so many things on my plate. Just being able to take some time away with my partner on a date night is a challenge.
Right.
And this is where comparing yourself with other people also can add to the challenge. That when you look at what you're doing, you think you're doing so much, and you look at this couple, you think, man, they've got it evenly split. No one's stressed out. Why can't it be me?
We stressing out here, okay?
Right? And thinking like this start causing tension. making you feel like your relationship isn't measuring up, where you're doing all the things, at least you think,
right,
that you're doing all the things.
Right.
You remember earlier when I said that when you get in the mindset of I'm doing this, you're counting every little bit here and there.
Right.
You completely forget that the other person is doing some stuff as well. So, every relationship has its challenges. Even if it looks perfect on the outside, it's important to remember that your relationship is unique. The challenges you're facing, the amount of work that you have to do for the kids, for the house, that's unique. It's not meant to look like someone else's relationship, right? It's meant to be yours.
Yeah.
And that's where you got to find ways to make yours work.
Yes, because yours is unique.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Focus on your own journey. Now, your journey will sometimes entails you doing sometimes more work than your partner's doing, but the next day, maybe your partner doing more work that you're doing. Just have to look to see, what am I doing to contribute to that relationship to help you get to wherever that we're looking to get to.
Right.
But face the challenge.
And I think, when people are comparing their relationship with someone, with another couple, that's where they really all heavy on the keeping the score. Yeah. Because they're like, well, this couple is doing that. Let me do this for my wife, or let me do this for my husband. We don't need to do that. One thing I truly, truly appreciate about my marriage, right, is we don't look up for, we don't comparing what we have with somebody else. We really have to focus on what we have. Then, like, man, what Will and Cece has, I love to have their house. Like, I love their relationship. It's okay to feel inspired.
Oh, absolutely.
It's okay. Like, my parents are my role model. Like, I've always said this ever since I was a kid. Okay. They are my role model. I look up to them. I don't look up to social media, relationship. I look up to my parents. And however, I truly feel like when you look up to something good or people that that work hard, this is why I look up to them, not because they've been married for 47 years, but because the struggle, where they are now, where they come from to where they are now. This is me and my husband, literally, because we have our struggles and we pray and we keep pushing. We don't go and call a friend and tell them, hey, listen, we had this going on. What should we do? No, we go to God. Okay. This is what I see my mom did in the past.
And this is where you have to make sure that you keep your relationship in your relationship.
Correct.
Yes.
Hello.
Because, many people find that they have to base their relationship on someone else's relationship and they start comparing. But what they fail to realize is that, especially if you're comparing yourself to people you see on social media, what's posted is the good things that happen.
Well, yeah.
And if you think it's always a good thing, you're mistaken.
You are mistaken.
So, and this is what we made the decision really early on in our relationship, that everything we do here stays here.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And we know everyone's got their struggle. We've had ours. And we know that, and obviously we on social media just like anyone else, and we see what's happening. But one thing we constantly reminding ourselves, people don't post their hard time.
They don't.
They only portray, they only broadcast the good time. If you find yourself wanting to be like so-and-so, stop. Just be like you. Just know that whatever you're doing it for the benefit of your relationship. If you're in a relationship, you find your partner's doing very little and you're doing a whole lot. You got to get to a point where you have to do your best to stop that score keeping and really start building real connections again.
That's right.
Right?
Yes.
And I say the first simple step you need to take is to start communicating with your partner. And I'm not talking about throwing shades.
Because
I'm not talking about that.
Because listen, baby, we're gonna be throwing shades, okay? We're gonna be throwing shades.
No,
okay?
I'm not talking about throwing shades. I'm talking about having real, honest conversation with your partner and discuss how you're feeling, what's been going on. And, really take a moment to listen to your partner as well.
Yes, I agree.
Because just like you have a lot to say, most likely they'll have a lot to say. And together you guys can come to some kind of resolution.
Listen, we're talking about shades. I'm talking about must be nice to sit while I clean up again. Must be nice to put your feet on the couch while I wash the dishes.
That's you. I really like the fact that she's admitting.
But I never said that to you though, babe. I've never said that to you. I've never said must be nice that.
Well, yes.
I probably use a different No, I probably in my mind thinking like, I can't believe that I'm back here. Okay, I'm going to be honest. In my mind, I've said this. I can't believe I'm out of here doing all this XYZ and this man over there doing nothing. I've said that. Not to you.
But
however, in my mind, I've said that.
And then when I come by, she gives me attitude. And I'm like, where's that attitude coming from?
In my mind. Me, myself, and I, we just had a long conversation about the fact that you're not doing nothing. But not all the time I have this conversation in my mind. No. Not all the time. But I know a lot of us ladies, married women, or you have children, you know you've had this conversation in your head. Like you yourself, you throwing shades like at your man and be like, must be nice. You just on your phone scrolling while I'm taking care of this or while I'm doing this. You could have come and help. Yeah. Right? We've had that. We've had that talk in our head, ladies. We're not crazy. But,
and this is what's important. And as I mentioned earlier, have real conversation. Instead of throwing those shades, it must be nice. Try saying something like, hey, I've been feeling a little bit overwhelmed, or I'm working on this back there. Would you please give me a hand? Right? Because I think if your partner really understands, they will be more inclined to just come on and give you a hand.
I agree.
When you throw shades, what that does, it just irritates the person.
It does. It really does. It really does.
Yes. But you know what? It's opening the doors to have real conversation. And make sure that you're not letting your emotions dictate your choice of words.
Right.
Because when you're choosing words based on emotion, that's when you're going to be like, it must be nice that I've been back here for the last 2 hours and you just sitting here. Or it must be nice that you didn't have to do that.
Yeah.
Or I cooked yesterday and I'm cooking again today. I am tired. You know?
Yes.
So have real conversation.
Yes.
And do it in, bring it in a place where you're not just going and telling this person that they did, because whoever may have just worked that day, they may have had the longest day.
Yes.
And when they got home, they didn't have any energy to do anything else besides sit down for a little bit, breathe, so they can get ready for the next day.
Yeah, and this is one thing I want to talk about. For me, I truly, truly practice gratitude. Okay, I really do when it comes to gratitude. It may be the smallest thing that my husband have done. I'm going to say, you know what, babe, I thank you, because I truly feel gratitude is so important. It makes a huge difference, you guys. And I'm not just talking about saying thank you, out of habit. I mean, truly noticing the effort your partner puts in, whatever it is, whether if it's something big or something small, let them know how much you appreciate them. I know he has a 9 to 5 and also he work on his business. And when he come home, I'll be like, babe, listen, I take care of the dishes. I know this is something that you would sometimes, normally you would do the dishes after we're done eating. But it doesn't have to be he has to do it every night. There's night where he come home, we have dinner, you don't clean up the dishes. Yes. There's nothing to clean up.
There's one thing Cece does, and sometimes I get in, I didn't even take off my clothes. And I'm like, okay, let me jump in and do it. She's like,
no.
Go take off your clothes.
Yes.
Because I felt obligated knowing that she's done so much throughout the day that I want to. And I'm glad you mentioned gratitude, because when you are grateful, it forces you to see what you want to be grateful for.
Right.
So that forces you to pay attention to, okay, what did this person do for me to be grateful?
Yes. The same thing goes for having a husband who work 9 to 5 and run a business, whether if they have an office or they home. As a woman, as a wife, it's so important to really appreciate your partner, because they had a long day, yet they're still thinking about their legacy, their future for their children. You know what? I'm working on this because I see the importance of, a game changing in my family. If I take the time to work on the business, gratitude is so important. Like, I don't know how people just like don't appreciate their spouse when they do little things or big thing. Yeah. It makes your husband feel so appreciative.
Oh yeah, it makes me want to do even more.
Right.
I'm the type that I get up early and I get home late. It's never a thing that, man, I got to get up again. No. But you know what? When I get up and go do what I want to do, I felt proud that I'm doing it because I know my people appreciates what I do. And when I get home, I'm giving them most rewarding welcome.
Yes.
So had a long day.
Yeah.
Maybe we have a conversation about it on the car. But by the time I get home, I'm all clean and good to go.
Yes. And the one thing, we do appreciate too, we know when he's tired, he falls asleep after we're done eating. And we understand that. We know my husband by now that especially on movie night, which still have after 10 plus years every Friday, he's going to knock out because it's busy. And we know that. And sometimes the kids, you would be like, Daddy, wake up. I'll be like, listen, let them sleep. Let him sleep.
Granted, she used to give me a hard time.
I changed. Okay. I changed.
And you can't forget about, teamwork. Relationship is not about, again, being a 50-50. It's
anymore. Although some people still believe that.
At least for us, we've gone past this stage. Relationship is about stepping up for each other.
Right.
I mentioned earlier, so when I get home, even before I take my clothes off, I'm like, hey, let me do this. Especially when Sissy cooks, I usually jump in and clean the dishes. She's like, she got me an apron just so I don't dirty my clothes because I'm bad at washing dishes. After I'm done, the front of my shirt will be all wet.
His hands
so
on his shirt.
I have an apron that's waterproof. So
and it's blue, his favorite color.
Yeah, it's my color. So but she's good at telling me, if you're gonna do this, I don't mind, but you gotta take off your clothes. And I do this because I know that I have to step in and support what I can do, because standing on your feet all day doing things is not easy. And the last thing I want is after you've done this, you got to stand again to do that. So if I can quickly jump in and do this, it helps. So relationship is about stepping up for each other.
Yes.
And be there to support each other when they need.
Yes.
Because
listen, I want you here for the next 100 years, and I know you want me here for the next 100 years,
absolutely.
Right? So we're gonna make it 100 together. So we gotta support and help each other so we can. So the load is not so heavy.
Yeah.
Right? Speaking of load, you guys, let's talk about the laundry. Let's talk about the laundry. Speaking of load.
Oh, this is the one thing that Cece likes to broadcast, that she does it.
Oh my God.
She does not. And listen, we have 2 kids. And I don't know if as they get older, things gets dirty a lot quicker, but it seems like the laundry is it's a never ending task.
For Cece.
Last month, I looked at my water bill. I'm like, what happened? This is unusual. But I don't know. I guess Cece did a whole lot. But it's like every day I go around, there's the dryer running or the washing machine's running. And Cece is good at saying, I'm going to be doing laundry, or she's taking it out. She's like, I'm unloading it. Sometimes she sent me to go put things from the washing machine to the dryer just so I know that, hey, laundry is happening. And I appreciate it. There's many times I'll jump in and help, but many times lately I haven't had to because I get home and it's done already.
Right.
So I do appreciate it. And she has certain ways that she does things, but I do know whenever she does it because she lets me know.
Because sometimes he'll be like calling me and it's like, what you doing? I'm like, well, I just folded 4 baskets of laundry, just so you know, 4 baskets of laundry. Because here's the thing about me when it comes to laundry. I don't like seeing dirty clothes around. I don't know how people do it.
Yeah.
I don't like seeing dirty clothes around. There's a basket there. Drop your clothes in the basket. If there's nothing in the laundry machine, drop it in there. That way, by the time it's ready to, run.
I try not to drop things in places because I tend to mix things that shouldn't mix. So I just look for a basket that has things that's similar to what I have and put them in there.
Yes, because my thing is I'm very particular when it comes to laundry. I keep the socks separate. I keep the colors and the white and the kids' clothes separate and the underwear separate, the undershirt separate. I'm
she's got a
particular because I don't want the dirty socks with the underwear. I know it's in the machine. It's going to wash regardless, but I'm very particular. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's
That's why she does that. And I just take instructions from her if she needs assistance. But she makes sure that I know whenever she does
especially when it comes to fold these boxers, these underwear and all that. I have a process, okay? I have a process that would take me 2 hours to make sure that I get it done. And I get to it and I'm like, boom, 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 bam, and I'm done. Yes. Okay, I have a process. But now when you come and mess up my process, you're going to make me start all over again because that happened before in the past. So therefore, I am very, very particular when it comes to laundry, and I don't like seeing dirty clothes hanging around or laying on the floor. That's one thing my daughters know. When they take their clothes off,
it needs to go in
they have their own laundry basket that goes in there. So separate clothes for them, separate clothes for us, and we just work it from there. And I will broadcast it when it comes to laundry day, and it's almost every day here at this house.
And because she does that, I got to make sure that I make it I make it known that I do the dishes. Now, I don't go and says that I'm doing it, but I make sure she sees that I do it. When I wake up in the morning, I make sure that before I leave the house that there's absolutely nothing in the sink.
You do.
And
yes.
I make sure that many times before you even go to sleep, I stay up late just to make sure there's nothing in the sink.
Right.
And I know she sees me.
I'm
not the type that go and say, hey, I'm doing it.
But I think every time you wash the dishes, especially in the morning, when I will, if we don't get a chance to wash them the night before, like for instance, my dad's birthday, that Thursday night, we didn't get a chance to clean up the night of, but then the morning you were able to get those things taken care of. And I was like, babe, and I was send a text. I'm one of those girls that's all about gratitude. I'm going to text you and say thank you.
I got to make sure that I do my part,
Because you know how it makes me feel.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Because she doesn't want to hear from me till sometimes. It'll be like, I know if I don't do this, just say.
Yes. But you know what? As you go, as you grow in your relationship, those are the things you have to make sure you keep an eye on.
Right.
Is how are we contributing to the relationship itself?
Yes.
Not so much what I am individually doing.
Yes.
And if there's one thing I can leave you guys with is that relationship, they aren't about who's done what or who's done more or who's done less. They're about working together and being there for each other. When you let go of the scoreboard, the tracking, and focus more on working together with each other, you'll find that love becomes lighter, stronger, and way more fun.
Yes.
Now, some days someone will do more. Other days, the other person will get to do more. So it's all about doing the things that's important to keep the relationship going. It's not about keeping things perfectly even. And that's why I think many people are missing the point.
Yes.
Is if I do this, you got to do that. No, it's about, again, stepping up for each other when it matters most. Right.
Exactly.
So my challenge to you this week is simple. Notice the way your partner is already showing up for you and say thank you. I've been saying thank you to Cece.
Same here.
After I'm done editing this podcast, she will come and say thank you to me. Now, she does check on me from time to time just to make sure that we're good. Like earlier, as I was getting this thing set up, she came in and see what we're doing and so forth.
Yeah.
So I appreciate this. So find reason to thank your partner. Every little things matter. And remind yourself you're on the same team. And if you can do what I do the best you can to help with whatever is there that you can help, please do so. Because when love wins, you both win.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
So guys, thank you for joining us on the Blissology Podcast today. We hope this episode encourages you to find ways to stop keeping score and start working together with your partner. Cece and I, we've been working together. We've been having a lot of fun with it.
That's
I know she does a whole lot of stuff, and many of them she wants to make sure that I'm reminded that she does them. The laundry, the homeschooling with the kids, the cleaning of the house, all of those things that she does. I know she does them, and I do my part to be there and do whatever I can during the time that I have. I'd like to be there 100% of the time to help her with everything, but we have responsibilities. Let's face it,
Right.
But everything that we do, we focus on working together, and we know that we are a team.
That's right.
And we do our best to show kindness to each other. And every moment we get, we show each other how much we appreciate the things that we do.
Yes.
And before we go, guys, please don't forget to subscribe to this podcast. We appreciate the comments that you leave, so keep leaving them. We take great joy in reading them, and I know Cece's been responding to them. She will continue to do so. And share this podcast with anyone you think who may need to hear it. I mean it, right? So until then, guys, please take care of yourself and help each other out. Peace.